What is up, everybody? It's I, Ronin, and I just read Lingribo. I didn't realize it had been revealed yet because I was out doing things today. But I mean, it's not awful, I suppose. It's not awful. That's what I'll give it. But now onto the actual video. So this is the bad deck idea of Rank Up Magic the 7th one Turbo. And if you don't know what Rank Up Magic the 7th one is, it's uh, it's really bad. I'm not even gonna lie. It's literally dead in hand. It doesn't do anything in your hand. You have to draw it for your normal draw. Yeah, it's awful. But you know what? I decided I wanted to make a deck around it. It didn't work, and then it turns out I had a better version by just summoning Dra Draglubion. Draglubion. But yeah, this is 7.1 Turbo or Draglubion. Turbo, I guess. Let's go over the 7.1 first, just so you know what this does. So to activate it, you first must draw it for your normal draw and your draw phase, reveal it, and keep it revealed to the start of main phase 1. Then, at the start of main phase 1, that same turn, as in the turn it was normally drawn, and it's the first card you use, you can special summon from your extra deck or graveyard one monster that has a number between 101 and 107. So, you know, number 107, kind of where we were going with this, and accept its chaos form. You then summon that monster from your and then from your extra deck, you rank it up into a chaos number of the same name of the first monster, and by using it as Xyz material, and it is a hard once per duel. So the obvious problems with this card, it has to be hard drawn. Uh, if you're gonna use it, you can't really run it at one because there's the real question of what if it's in my opening hand? Then I literally have a 4 card opening hand. Uh, so you have to run it in multiples because it's a garnet. That's your win condition. And I thought when going into this video, oh, Galaxy Satellite Dragon, that'll help because during the opponent's end phase, if it's on the field, it lets you like stack your deck pretty much. No, that didn't work either because this can just be negated by everything. Like this card would be even worth running. Okay, this would even be worth running a fun, weird deck build around if it could not be responded to. Okay, could not be responded to, or protects the monster it summons, but it does neither of those things. It just flat out says, nope, you're running this in your deck, and you're gonna like it, but guess what? We don't like it. We don't like you rank at Magic the 7th one. For what you do, you should be much better. Well, that's sort of my rant on the 7th one. Now let's go over Draglubion, because he's a good boy that does everything I was hoping this deck would do for me. But yeah, so Draglubion, blah blah blah. Rank 8, Dark Dragon, requires 2 level 8s, and your opponent, it cannot be targeted by opponent's card effects, and it lets you attach 1 to material from it, take 2 dragon number monsters with different names from your extra deck or graveyard except for itself. And then you special summon one of those monsters, attach the other to it as material. So for example, you could choose Tachyon and Neo Tachyon. Special summon the Neo Tachyon, attach a regular Tachyon as material, and boom, you have your plays right there. Also, if you use this, you can't special summon monsters for the rest of the turn, and you also cannot attack with anything but the special summon monster. And that's why it's really cool with Neo Tachyon, because its ability can let it attack 3 times. So it's like it's really cool. It's really cool actually. It's a neat play. But yeah, so that's Draglubion, the good boy. And yeah, let's just go over the rest of the deck, I guess. So a lot of this new sort of dragon support actually works kinda like the rank 8 support from the Zexal anime of the guy who used the Tachyon dragons. I believe it was Mizar. And yeah, so I was kind of chose to use a lot of the cards that dude used, and this ended up decent. We have one Red Eyes MD, free Spiral Dragon Bulge, free Gamacil, free Schwarzschild Limit Dragon, free Nebula Star Cloud Dragon, free Parsec the Interstellar Dragon, a Collapsed Serpent, free Starly's Dragon Seifert, one Wyverburster, and free Heliosphere Dragon. Let's go to the basics first. So Red Eyes MD, it's a dragon deck. We want to special summon dragons, and he's a very good extender, so Red Eyes MD is in the deck. Gamacil, actually for some weird synergy with Schwarzschild, which we'll go over, but you know what? It Kaiju's a thing. Schwarzschild Limit Dragon, interestingly enough, lets you special summons itself from its hand, or from your hand, sorry. Oh, I misspoke. Uh, so long as your opponent controls a monster with 2,000 or more attack, i.e. Gamacil or i.e. anything else. So it's pretty good. It's also a trade-in target, target for Return of the Dragon Lords. It's good. It's actually really neat. Then we have Nebula the Star Cloud Dragon. It special summons itself and another level 8 dragon from your hand. By revealing both of these, then you know, they have their effects negated, unfortunately. And you can banish it from the graveyard to add a level 4 lower light or dark dragon monster in your graveyard to your hand as a hard once per turn. So it's a pretty good way just to get monsters on board. It also sets up well for Spiral Dragon Balls, which special summons itself from your hand or graveyard, so long as you control 2 or more light or dark dragon monsters. But it's banished when it leaves the field, and during your main phase, you can make all monsters you currently control become level 8. Each effect is a hard once returned, so also very good. You probably don't need it at free. I kind of like having it free though; it just works out pretty decent. And they have Parsec the Interstellar Dragon, which can be normal summoned without tribute so long as you control a level 8 monster. Uh, it's a good normal summon. It's just a really good normal summon. We have plenty of room for it in the deck, and it also acts as a extender. Collapsed Serpent and Wyverburster, I think you know those, but just in case, they search each other by banishing the opposite attribute dragon of themselves. They special summon themselves from their hand. Or monster, not dragon, my bad. And when they hit the graveyard from the field, they search each other. So they're a very good way to just sort of put on some material. Seraphit is pretty interesting. When it's on the field, I was using any number of dragon monsters from your hand or face-up field to the grave to add a dragon monster from your deck to your hand, whose level equals the total original levels of the monsters sent to the graveyard. So in our case, 4 and 8, which is all we are running, so it's very good. And it can banish itself in the graveyard to target a level 8 light or dark dragon and add it back to your hand as a hard once return. So it's a really good searcher actually. I really do dig this card. I think it's good. And then we have, just for the sake of having another level 4, because we cannot just be relying on Seraphit plus one of the baby dragons, we have Heliosphere Dragon, which is actually a really funny card. While your opponent has 4 or less cards in their hand, and this is the only monster you control, your opponent can't declare attacks, and once per turn, it can turn itself into a level 8 if you have a level 8. So, honestly, it's a super funny card. It's usually send target off of Seraphit, but when it does go off, and it does sometimes, it's a really funny card. And now my spell and trap lineup is actually pretty standard. We have free Return of the Dragon Lord, which is Monster Reborn for level 7 or higher dragons. It also does protect them from destruction effects by banishing itself. So yeah, we have all these high level dragons, so it's definitely worth running. Trade in because we have like a bajillion level 8s and we don't always want them. Dragon Shrine to potentially set up a bulge or to fuel Return of the Dragon Lords. Maybe we can get a search back with like Seraphit or Nebula. So, you know, we got a few options there. Rank up Magic 7th one. We already went over that. Then Upstart Goblin for consistency. And free Called by the Grave because this is we want to go second, and this helps bunches and bunches. But yeah, that all being said, let's go on and get right into the extra deck. We had the Nightmare package, classic. I kind of went over Galaxy Satellite Dragon's purposes, but it does have another effect that's useless, so I don't know if I want to go over it. Yeah, I will, just because I'm sure someone will tell me how wrong I am. But yeah, so during the battle phase, as a quick effect, it lets you banish it from your field or graveyard to target a number of disease monster you control that was originally a light dragon, and until the end of the battle phase, any battle damage your opponent takes is halved, and that monster's attack becomes equal to the number in its name times 100. And during the opponent's end phase, you can choose one card from your deck and place it on top of your deck. So that's what I meant by sack the deck. I have no idea what that first effect is good for unless you have like a quick play. Is there a quick play rank at Magic? I'll have to look that up later, because if there's a quick play rank at Magic, that makes actually a lot more sense. But yeah, so that's what that does. Kind of our main link. It's good. Tachyon and Neo Tachyon. I mean, yeah, they're worth going over. Tachyon, he requires 2 level 8, and all his stuff is battle phase, unfortunately. But yeah, once per battle phase, at the start of it, you can detach a material from itself, and all of their face-up monsters currently on the field have their effects negated, and their attack and defense become their original attack and defense. And if you do any of these during the battle phase this turn, each time opponent's card effect resolves, it gains 1,000 attack till the end of the battle, and it can make a second attack during the battle phase this turn. And that what makes this so good, if you can get into the battle phase, is the negate effect is permanent. Like, they don't get their effects back ever. So yeah, Tachyon, a surprisingly decent card, but nothing like the OTK machine that is his Chaos form, Neo Galaxy Ice Tachyon Dragon. So it's the ranked up version. So obviously you do it with a rank up Magic or Draglubion. And once per turn, lets you attach a disease material from itself, and until the end of the turn, it negates the effects of all other face-up cards currently on the field, and your opponent cannot activate cards or effects on the field. And if it has the original 107 as disease material, it gains the effect to tribute 2 monsters, and it can now attack free monsters during the battle phase this turn. So, a lot more combative, but arguably not as good as the original Tachyon, but it's fun to pull this card off. I'll say that much. It's really fun to pull this card off. And lastly, we have 38 Hope Harbinger. Uh, it can slurp up and negate spell traps, and it redirects attacks. It's basically your first turn option if you don't manage to cheese your opponent with Heliosphere for whatever reason. But yeah, it's not a bad card. It's just I don't know. Everyone knows what it does. I don't know. It's here because it's good. It's not because it's interesting. But yeah, that all being said, let's get into Psyduck, which is pretty simple. Free anti-spell for the Pendulum matchup. Free red reboot for the Trap matchup. Free Storm Mirror Force for the Thunder Dragon matchup. Free Twin Twisters for the general spell trap removal you always want. And free Tachyon Transmigration for being the best counter trap in the game. But if you don't know what it does, I'll seriously go over it, because a lot of people I don't think know what this does. But yeah, if you control a Galaxy-Eyes monster and negates the activations of your opponent's spell traps and monster effects activated before this card in this chain, and it shuffles back everything in the chain. If you control Galaxy-Eyes Tachyon Dragon monster, so that means 107 or Chaos 107, you can activate this from your hand. So it's like yeah, best counter trap in the game. I don't know what else to say. It's absolutely nuts. And if you're building a like weird 107 turbo build, like I don't see why you don't run this. It's insane. But yeah, that's pretty much the deck profile. If you're new here, we just go over a few replays. I show the deck's weaknesses, its strengths, what I thought I could have done better, what I liked that I did, match specific stuff, and yeah, just we talk about it. Have a real chat. But yeah, that all being said, I'll see you guys in the first replay. Alright, one of the first replay with Fire returns. We are Mizar, because I think that's his actual character's name, at least in the dub. And he is playing believe it or not, Crystrons. I do appreciate the breakthrough skill. That's a sick cheap tech right there, my guy. It's an awesome trap card. I love it. And as you can see, we've opened up okay. That's not the worst opening ever. 4-card hand, obviously, but we can work with 4 cards. But yeah, so our opponent will go first. They'll summon the Genix Undyne to send the Fistburn, and they search the Sulfefnir, and they have to pass on that, unfortunately for them. Because Ties of the Brethren is currently dead in their hand because, I mean, is it dead, actually? I'm not... Oh, I'm guessing you don't have 3 Aquas in your deck. Okay. Yeah, but have double breakthrough skill set, imposing board there. So you summon the Sephiret, go ahead and search the Nebula Dragon. Use Nebula to special summon itself in Parsec, then we can special summon Bulge because of its ability. Link them away into the Satellite Dragon. Activate Return of the Dragon Lords, bring them to Parsec, make the Draglubion. Draglubion gives us the Hope Harbinger, attaching a Tachyon. Then we just go into the battle phase, but because it was summoned by Draglubion's effect, we can only attack the Hope Harbinger. However, I felt pretty confident because we are going against Crystrons, plus the Return of the Dragon Lords in the graveyard is pretty good for protection. But yeah, so our opponent is going to go up, and they will finally get to their thing, and this man is running 2 Gen X controller. He's running 2. Want to make that known. But yeah, so he's basically just setting up the plays. I don't know enough about Crystron to say what the plays are, but he just set up for a Synchro Summon his next turn. We try to stack the deck with Satellite Dragon. He's going to break through Skillet. That's fine. So it's our turn, though. We go ahead and use the Sephiroth to try to get back our Nebula Dragon, but he's going to use the Citri to go ahead and Synchro Summon something. And he makes the Quandrax Starlight Junction, tries to pop the Satellite Dragon. We're going to go ahead and try to use Hope Harbinger's ability to negate and slurp, but then it is going to get Breakthrough skilled. And then he goes ahead and also activates Crystron Impact for reasons. But yeah, we get negated, so we lost our Star Liege, unfortunately. And but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get 2 level 8s on the field. Quandrak makes the Black Rose Dragon. He blows up everything. We go ahead and protect our dragons with Return of the Dragon Lords. And then we are going to try to use Bulge before he quits, which is, wait a minute, Smoke Grenade of the Thief? What? 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 Smoke Grenade of the Thief? What is, okay, what's this? Crystron entry, okay. What? Why is there's just a Smoke Grenade of the Thief? Someone tell me what purpose Smoke Grenade of the Thief serves here, because I don't know. Wow, okay, and was he playing free controller? I feel like he's playing free controller. No, apparently he's only playing 2 controller. Okay. Yeah, well, that was we'll just, yeah. Yeah, that's it. The replay ended. But yeah, so that was the first game. This kind of showing just sort of what the deck generally does. It sets up boards similar to that, pretty much, with Draglubion being the key there. But there's some now we have just gonna show the deck's weakness, and then we're gonna just have a fun replay because it was a really fun game. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, on to the second game with El Josho. As you can tell, he is playing the most interesting deck: Hand Traps and a Pankratops. I guess there's some Mech Knights too, but I don't know. Hand Traps and Pankratops. Okay, that's a winner. And yeah, so this kind of gets to the weakness of the deck because this is sort of combo centric as well as somewhat needing your opponent to be able to do things. So we are in a bit of an unfortunate position against decks like this. But yeah, you're gonna see. So our opponent's just gonna pass. And as you can see, that's actually a problem for us because not many plays we can make with these. We did get the trade in, which is pretty nice. So we dropped that one of the Schwarzschilds and feeling pretty confident here. So summon the Sephirate, intending to get a search by sending the Collapse Serpent, but it's going to get ashed. We do not have our call, unfortunately. So we do summon the Wyver Burster though, banish it to summon the Red Eyes MD. We're going to try to use Red Eyes MD effect. Well, first we get the Bulge, because the plan was to use Red Eyes MD to get out the Schwarzschild, and we could get Bulge on field, and then we could make a rank 8 or go into a Link monster, which would have been really cool. But our opponent's going to Valor it, because, you know, why not? However, we are just going to go ahead and pull the Bulge back, which is fine, so we just attack for some damage. Now he's going to do the most fascinating play in Pankratops. Pankratops pass. We got the Nebula, which is pretty decent. So we summon Nebula, go ahead and make Satellite Dragons to try to stop some stuff. I did not think he'd have another Pankratops, I'm not gonna lie. I thought he was just gonna have a lot of hand traps. If I had known that, I definitely would have gone to Draglubion, I think. But, oh, that's my bad. So our opponent is going to go ahead and just do that. Summon a couple monsters pass. Tribute setting the Shaddoll Beast. So here we can't really search anything by dropping to level 8. So yeah, set the Safert. I didn't know what this was. I honestly thought this was like Guardian Sphinx or something. Just given what I've seen so far. But yeah, now he has access to his Shaddoll engine. And he's going to attack for some damage. And we're gonna lose in this next turn. He's gonna do combo-y things. We do make the Tachyon go for attacks. He does that because, you know, our Anchortrops is annoying. But yeah, he's gonna go ahead and do this. He's playing apparently Mech Knight invoked Shaddoll hand traps. So you know, that's a interesting deck. I'm lying, it's not an interesting deck. I don't like decks like this where it's just like a bunch of hand traps and then I have plays. But yeah, so he's gonna go ahead and do this stuff, attack per game. And yeah, that's the game. So that's sort of the weird thing. If your opponent has a lot of control elements, I mean, I guess it's a problem for every deck. But specifically with a going second strategy like this, you really need your opponent to do things. And that's kind of what holds the deck back a lot, because, like, you do have some obvious ways to mitigate it, like Gamsil, other Kaijus, Nebula Cloud is really good at that. It's just, you're not always going to have those. But yeah, so that was the second replay. The last replay is just going to be a weird and fun game that went exactly how I hoped it would. But yeah, I'll see you guys there. Alright, on to the final replay with Ragnell. He's playing Dinomist, one of my personal favorite Pendulum decks, actually. And he's actually opened very well here, I think. Yeah, he's opened. I didn't see his hand before. Actually, I hadn't watched the replay yet, but, like, this is a really good hand. Like, you could make some plays with this, like instant fusion into a fusion, tribute summon a Dynamis, special summon the Ceratops, make Electromite, like set a scale. Like, yeah, you know, you could. This hand is actually really going places. Like, wow, okay. But yeah, so he's playing Dynamis. We're going second and have opened pretty decently. But yeah, he's going to go first, where he will activate the Rex and pass. So again, it was weird that we are not really able to do anything here. So we draw, summon Heliosphere Dragon and pass. And he did not read Heliosphere Dragon, so he summons the Patera. I don't know why he didn't summon the Ceratops as well, but that's his life, not mine. However, because he has Fearless cards in hand, and I only have a Heliosphere Dragon, he can't declare attacks. So he goes into main phase 2, makes the Ceratops. Actually, let's see what this guy's. Yeah, he's running Electron. He could have done some stuff. Weird. But also Thunder Dragons, apparently. Okay, that's interesting. Wait, he's gonna go ahead and pay 1,000 to make the Nova rank up into infinity, suck up our Heliosphere, and that's gonna be the turn. Now it's our turn. We go ahead and Gamma still that because we don't want to deal with his known negate. We didn't know what this was, but it's a Dinomist Rush, so it's fine. And now we just kind of go off. So we send the Bulge, draw 2. He has a monster with 2,000 more attack now, so we special summon the Short-Child Limit Dragon from hand. Then we use Nebula's effect to bring out 2 more monsters. Then we normal summon a Heliosphere. Go ahead, tribute those 2 to make the satellite. Then we use the other 2 levels to make Draglubion. Lubion's going to go ahead and activate its effect to summon the Chaos 107. He's going to use Dinomist Rush to try to get some more monsters on board, which is fair. So he summons the Placius, and we summon the Chaos 107. Chaos 107 uses ability, now attacks 3 times, and now effects cannot be activated on the field. So yeah, we're just going to attack into these free monsters to do some big damage. And now he just has to be able to get over Beat Sticks, which he cannot do, so he activated those 2. Just when he forgot that Rex was a scale 6. And yeah, that was pretty much the game. So that was just a fun replay where things kind of went right. Got to use Chaos 107 to max effect. It was good. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, that's all the replays. I don't know. I would love to see a deck where the 7th one really works well. But I did not figure that out. But I think this was still a really fun deck, and I enjoyed playing it. It was definitely a fun little casual fling into rank 8 dragons, and yeah, I dug it. But did you guys dig it? Let me know what you think in the comments. Decks you want me to try out, ways to make this one better, so on and so forth. And yeah, that all being said, like if you liked, comment if you have something to say, and subscribe if you want some more. This has been Ronin, signing off.